Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Distinct Mastering YouTube channel. My name is Freddie. Today we're going to be talking about 7 frequencies that you must know. Let's get right into this video. Okay, today I wanted to talk about a different subject. I haven't actually talked about the frequency spectrum, and I thought it'd be cool to talk about the 7 different frequencies that every producer must know. Whether you're a mix engineer, mastering engineer, producer, just dabbling in recording, this is key. You might be asking as a beginner, if you are a beginner, what I mean by frequency ranges. The human ear can hear 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz. And this is the frequency spectrum, as you see, represented on a graph. Understanding frequency regions is essential in audio mixing because it allows you to identify and isolate specific frequency ranges that may be causing problems in your mix, that require enhancement in your mix or any kind of treatment. That goes the same for mixing, mastering, recording, etc. So let's talk about the 7 frequency ranges. So what are the 7 frequency ranges? Well, starting from the very left, we have the sub-bass frequency range, which is 20 hertz to 60 hertz. This is the lowest frequency band, and many of these frequencies are almost felt rather than heard. Common instruments in this region are your bass instruments and your kick drum, as this will give the feeling of power. It is important that you have a lot of control in this range. Otherwise, too much emphasis will make your track sound muddy. This is very important in consideration when making dance music like me, where heavy sub on the dance floor is required. The next region is the bass region, 60 hertz to 250 hertz. This is the meat of your rhythm section, and you can hear tracks that are either fat or thin in this region. Balance in this zone is extremely important. You want to make sure that your kick and your bass are not occupying the exact range of frequencies or they will mask each other out. The same can be said for tom drums or fills. And remember, other instruments such as guitar and piano can contain frequencies in this area, so you could clutter up your mix if you don't pay attention when EQing and carving space. If you have some questions on carving space, I'll leave you a link to some of my videos on carving space down below, so check that out. Now, if your mix is over-present in this area, it will sound way too boomy. The next section we have is the low mids, 250 to 500 hertz. Most musical instruments are present in this range, so getting the balance between them is extremely vital if you want clarity in your mix. If you have too much going on in this range, it can make instruments sound muffled, and overall your song can sound extremely muddy if you have too much in this range. Not enough energy, however, in the low mids range will make your music sound thin, so pay attention to this region. The next section is the mid-range, 500 hertz to 2000 hertz. Too much energy in 500 to 1000 hertz and your mix can have a honking, telephone-like quality, and instruments can take on a horn-like timbre. If there is too much happening between 1 to 2K or 1000 hertz to 2000 hertz, the mix can start to sound tinny. If the low mids are emphasized in your mix, it can also lead to being tiring to listen to as well, causing the listener ear fatigue. The next section we have is the high mids. The high mids are located between 2 to 4 kilohertz. Or 2000 hertz to 4000 hertz. If your mix contains too many of these frequencies, it can also be very tiring to listen to, as it will be very harsh and brittle. Vocals are very prominent in this zone, so it's worth considering making cuts to backing instruments in this range, particularly around 3 kilohertz or 3000 hertz. This will allow your vocals to push at the front of the mix. The attacks of the percussive instruments are also located in this zone. So if you need more click on your kick or snap on your snare, then consider looking at this region. The next range of frequencies we have is the presence region, which is 4 to 6 kilohertz or 4000 hertz to 6000 hertz. This is the frequency range that provides all the clarity and definition to your sounds. If you boost this range, it can make elements in the mix feel closer to the listener. If you cut here, it can make things sound very distant and transparent. This is the area to boost if you just need more overall crispness in your snare or other elements of your mix. I also like to pay attention to this region in vocals. It's very important as it provides a lot of clarity in the voice, in my opinion. Lastly is the brilliance section from 6 to 16 kilohertz or 6,000 hertz to 16,000 kilohertz. Much of this range is mostly harmonics and obviously a lot of upper end percussion, and boosting it can add a lot of sparkle to your sound. Adding a boost in this region on vocals will give you more air, making your vocals sound a bit more polished and refined, but you can also add more sibilance when you do this, so be careful. And sibilance will occur between 7.5 to 10 kilohertz up to sometimes 14 kilohertz, depending on the person's voice. That can range. Also, it can get down as low as 5 kilohertz, so you just have to kind of be careful and find the right spot if the sibilance is present. It can also be caused by the microphone choice you've had on vocals. Now, conversely, if you need a bit more brightness and sizzle from your cymbals and hi-hats, this is the zone you want to look at, and this is the zone that you will want to be boosting in. If you need to take away some sizzle or it's just too bright, you probably need to cut in this area. So, once again, this is another area that will cause listener fatigue, so be very careful. Now, that is an overview of the 7 frequencies that you must know. I'm going to keep this video short and simple today. If you're interested in learning more about carving space, like I mentioned before, I'll leave you a link to a video up above, and I will catch you on the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and the bell notification will keep you up to date. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering, and have a great day. Peace.